Yes, people, big up yourselves. You know, a little bit of news, funny enough, Monday morning shock, bank holiday setting shock. But Dan's here to rep Chelsea, and his new bald manager, Enzo Maresca, is looking likely as this advanced talks, you know, and I've got a little bit of news to share as well to shut down Ches. We've got a gal here, you know, we were talking about it yesterday, but obviously Rashford to Arsenal is looking kind of concrete in a way, but we can talk about that. Pep leaving, old news, but everyone was kind of shocked yesterday when it was last
week.
Knobheads
that don't fucking read shit.
And then, Ten Hag. You know, who else other than Ten Hag? You know, we got petitions asking him to stay. We've got open letters from Man United fans to the Glazers who want Glazers out. Why the hell would you want to write to them like they give a shit? Because they don't. But yeah, man, make sure you're here. Make sure you're smashing the like button. You got Mons in the corner as well. Bro, Mons, long day for you, man. This guy has travelled to London and Birmingham.
Say Enzo Maresca on Chelsea's board.
Wait, long day for me? What did I do?
You did. You just said Chelsea's new board member, Enzo Maresca. That's what you just said.
I don't remember saying that.
No, you just said it a second ago, and I was thinking, hold on, board member. So you just said Enzo. You just said Chelsea's new board member, Enzo Maresca. You just said that's why you don't mean board member, do you?
No. Right. Manager. Maybe I did say that. Who gives a shit?
Because I was just thinking, it made me confused. Thinking, hold on, they're giving him a fucking position on the board.
No, but I don't know, man. All I know is bald and he's got superpowers.
It's not what I thought it was as well.
George Schoonley should be here at some point. But yeah, man, what you lot saying? This is the summer begins.
You know, when they sacked Pochettino, they told me Chelsea had standards. These are the standards.
Well, hold on a second. Hold on a second, Gal. Right. So correct me if I'm wrong. Maresca, was Pep's assistant, yes?
Something like that.
Yes.
Right. And now he's been in a management role. Bro, respectfully, your standards would go and get his assistant that had not been in a management role, and he's doing a fucking good job. So actually, bro, either way, don't try and fit the narrative.
Interviewed for the job.
Arteta's doing a great job, and who's Pep's assistant and had no experience as a manager.
Stop making this about Arsenal. Simply put, Chelsea fans told me they have standards. They would never go for a.
Well, neither of you then. Cool. Neither you or Chelsea
kind of managers.
Cool.
And now it's kind of funny that the same club that and fan base that always criticize Arsenal and criticize other clubs.
Don't make it about Arsenal, bro.
No, you made it about Arsenal.
You just brought.
No, you did it, Gal. You made it about Arsenal.
I was just pointing out the fact that Chelsea fans told me sacking Pochettino was because they have high standards, and after the season that he had, he deserved to be sacked. But based on the managers they're looking at, it doesn't scream high standards.
Well, have you got high standards, Gal?
I would say that my club are relatively patient. So if you equate high standards with sacking managers, that's not how we.
Patient. I'll give you the patience.
But Gal, you're just evading the answer.
I wouldn't
Daps asked you a simple question. Yeah, exactly. Answer the question.
That's my main point.
So have you got?
It's not even a dig at. It's not even a dig at you or anybody here. It's just strictly saying that managers are sacked because of high standards doesn't make sense anymore. Because the managers that are coming back in replace of Tuchel is Company, for example. The manager coming to Chelsea potentially could be somebody else. So it's not
right. Let's get to the point then, shall we, Gal? Because you spent a lot of time speaking about nothing there. Basically, the fact of the matter is that the statement you made is that Chelsea have no standards and low standards. As a fan base, Chelsea absolutely do have standards, and there are people maintaining their standards from the last 20 years of what Chelsea Football Club is and should be, and what it means to support or be part of Chelsea Football Club. Right? As do Arsenal. Hang on, stop. Just don't interrupt me for a second. As do Arsenal, as the Manchester City, as the Manchester United. Right. End of the matter. Right. Is that simple as Chelsea fans understand where Chelsea should be. The fact of the matter is we've got board and we've got owners now who don't understand that, hence why they're now looking to appoint a manager who ultimately has only got championship experience. It'll be probably the first time Chelsea hire a manager from outside of the top 5 leagues ever in the last 20, 25 years. I'm not sure if that's fact, but it wouldn't surprise me unless you're counting unemployed. The issue is, though, and what you're saying is that Pochettino was obviously sacked for standards. The issue and the reason Pochettino was sacked is not performance-based. It is ultimately because he didn't agree with where the board wants to head this football on send this football club, and that's why there's no points or results-based decision in terms of Pochettino sacking. Absolutely not.
So you agree with me? The whole sacking was not based on standards, which a lot of your fans were pointing at when he was sacked. Hence why I brought up the whole point. So you went on this whole monologue calling me.
No, I
saying that
started.
what I said was
Blame me
shit.
for
You
that.
backed, and then you basically backed my own point with your own evidence.
Sorry, that was my fault.
Well, talking of evidence, I thought I'd share something with us. So
Dan's not having it today, man. He's in a different world.
Nah, he's all right.
Sorting out the audio.
Yeah. Someone else. I thought I'd like to point out this. Give me a second. This is Ches. Ches, you and your sources. Yeah, this is for people that don't know. Yeah, Ches likes to talk a lot of shit. Yeah, and he's had his year on YouTube. And this is where you can't be doing up Grizz Khan settings and thinking you can do up, Playboy TV when it comes to transfers and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Look right there. A high-profile mystery name is under consideration at Chelsea. It's RDZ or RA, whoever that is. Yeah. Cass, cry more. And then Ches also says, I have my sources. Yeah, known. This is when David Ornstein tweeted what he's tweeted last night. Said, yeah, known is techie. I said over David Ornstein. Yeah.
So what was he trying to work? Who was Ches trying to say they were getting?
He was working for the Zerbi, bro. The Zerbi.
Oh,
right. I'm just trying to tell everyone.
Who's RA?
I have no idea.
Ruben
Amorim. So I'm just trying to say this, yeah. Ches, you're a top waffle job. And you know what? I have much love for you, yeah. Don't get me wrong. But you're not escaping this one. When I said receipts are going in folders, they are going in folders. So if you say something nuts, even on this show, it's going in one of your personal folders. And trust me, when I say now Daps is back on streaming and so forth, I'm not coming
back to the group chat though. Not a chance in hell.
I'm just saying, yeah, now that you're here and everything, you don't let anything escape. So that's a double whammy.
I mean, mine are more around pause things, to be fair. But
hold that Ches, all I'm saying, yeah. But let's talk about this geezer anyways, yeah. This Mr. Pep number 2. If anyone don't know, he was at Parma B. He got sacked after 14 matches. Then obviously that's usually the kind of come up with managers these days. Anyways, they always have some sort of pass where it didn't go right. And then obviously with Leicester, would you say Leicester winning the championship is impressive?
The way they did it was pretty impressive.
They nearly bowled at the end. They didn't get it away, but they won it.
They did win it. I like Leeds, who fully bowled it.
I think that's a really good point there, is the fact that they did manage to recover it. If they'd have fallen off, like Dap said with Leeds, I think that would be way more of an issue. I think the fact he's actually won and got his team to win a trophy probably puts more in his camp than it does for someone like Kieran McKenna.
I personally rate it more than Kieran McKenna, but the difference is that people are going to argue is the fact that with McKenna, he done it with Ipswich, which is on a tight budget compared to obviously Maresca, who's at Leicester, who had quite good funds, quite good links. They even had one of your
League level squad as well.
Pretty much. Jamie Vardy still there, experience.
Who's the guy that was at Southampton? I think he was at Southampton. He was at City, then he went to Southampton.
Wilcox.
No, not Wilcox. The guy that Don kept you. The guy that brought Chelsea Lavia.
Oh, Joe Shields. Joe Shields is linked. Joe Shields. Yeah, because
bet you Joe Shields and him worked together at City for the EDS together, didn't they?
Willie Caballero is number 2 at Leicester as well, assistant.
Right. Yeah. So
there is a couple of links here. It's Palmer, Lavia. They're the kind of links I think towards
Palmer, Lavia, and then Shields and him would have worked together at the EDS for City.
Exactly right. I think that's why there's sort of probably. I think what Cass was saying actually when the show started. I think you said it was like. I think you were aiming to say it's the board's choice. I think this is the board's choice of manager.
It's not the fans.
Not the fans, and rumor has it it's not even Egbali's, who apparently is like ultimately overseeing
it does sound like that Joe Shields has had a bit of a say in this.
Yeah, well, Joe Shields, he apparently he's very well respected by all the players, and ultimately, if you look at the players that he's brought in, most of them have seemed to do an okay job wherever he's been: City, Southampton, and Chelsea. I think Lavia is obviously questionable, but he's followed Joe Shields around.
Look at Southampton yesterday. Harwood Bellis,
Who just
Bazuma-
signed for them on a permanent now for 20 million.
Has he?
Baz-
Yeah.
Bazuma, he's from City as well. The guy up top who came on as a sub yesterday, someone in the chat will remember his name, can't remember his name. So yeah, does seem to have a bit of a talent ID.
How do you feel though, Dan? Like, be real. In your mind, I know that the managers, like the plethora, like the whole options is disgusting. But as a Chelsea fan, like, be real. Like, how do you actually feel at this moment of time? Because we can easily say that he's a tactically sound coach, but being tactically sound in a championship, being tactically sound in the Premier League, you still have to manage the club.
Yeah, I think look at Vincent Kompany. Like, he had an absolutely unbelievable season with Burnley. He got promoted. Everyone was predicting him to get mid-table, and they've got relegated. And then he's ended up with the Bayern job. So somehow his stocks remain. But for me, if we look at it as where I am as a Chelsea fan, I absolutely don't think this is the right appointment for the club at all. I just think it's way below the levels we should be looking to hire someone from. I think the evidence isn't quite there yet to suggest that they should even be in a managerial shortlist for Chelsea Football Club. If we look realistically at the management here, he's one of the only ones I can really comment on, him and probably Zerbi, because I've barely watched Ipswich. I think we were linked with Frank from Brentford, who I could comment on a little bit because I've watched. I thought
he was going to say Frank Lampard. I was like, don't do that.
Oh no. But I think it's probably a better appointment than Lampard as an interim. However, look, I think people are just obsessed with the Pep Guardiola disciple model. Arsenal, Burnley, Chelsea now, you name it. Like, there's enough clubs out there.
Man United.
Man United as well, with Ten Hag. Just all trying to get a piece of the puzzle or piece of the pie, basically, from Guardiola. And I just think it's this obsession that just needs to stop as well. I just think it's ridiculous. Go your own way as a club, and you can ultimately have success as well. You don't have to be a sheep. I think the idea is, though, if you can't beat them, join them.
Look at the one club. Look at the one club that ultimately played a different style of football and said, you know what, we're not going to try and do it the City way, Klopp, and they did it.
Yeah. And I think back to Antonio Conte's obviously very on in Pep's era, right, Dapson? Probably not when Pep had his best team. But even Antonio Conte went and won a title when Pep was in charge at City and played a completely different style of football. Even Mourinho against Pep's Barcelona. I think back to, I'm not sure if Klopp stopped Pep at Germany. I'm not sure that he did. I don't think that happened. But either way, I don't think it's the be all and end all. I just think it's this amazing and elaborate style of football that Pep's got, and everyone's trying to emulate that success. Look, I'm not happy.
Meanwhile, he's ruining football, apparently.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Pep's not ruining football. He's one of the best to ever do it.
To be fair, he's had the biggest influence in football as a manager in the modern era.
Ooh, define modern.
So modern is obviously current now. Like I could say probably the last 10 years.
Right, so you managed to save yourself from pissing off every single Arsenal fan and potentially talking about Wenger.
Because Wenger changed football in the late 90s because he brought in sports science and all that kind of stuff and nutrition. Pep, when it talks about influence on football, everyone's trying, and obviously Cruyff back then, to be fair, but in modern football with Pep, he's influenced so much that everyone wants to play out the back. Everyone wants to start doing inverted stuff. People want to be like Pep, and there's nothing wrong with trying to be like Pep. He's, if not the greatest manager of all time, and you can have that argument with Alex Ferguson if you want. But if you're talking about a tactical head, he's the best tactical coach I've ever witnessed personally. But yeah, on that notice as well,
his dominance domestically in all three leagues.
Ridiculous. And obviously we could talk about that.
But that's not down to Pep. That's down to 115, bro.
Yeah.
No. You guys have nothing to do with 115 at Barcelona and Bayern. Barcelona actually they do cheat, but it is what it is. When it comes to the stature of what about the stature of club that he goes to? He doesn't go to any club that's not like top A, and he somehow makes them better. It's crazy.
Yeah,
he's definitely made us better. That's the truth. He's made us. We'd never retained a trophy. We'd never done a double or treble. Pep definitely took us to a different level, man. Him and 115 and
350 people in here. 365 people in it, only 58 likes. So if you haven't done that, please double check. Just a quick reminder, it takes 2 seconds. And as Mont say, if you're on light mode, if you like that thumb, it will probably look like a gal right now. But if you're on dark mode and you lit the thumb, it will look like me and Daps or Dan. So on that note, is please smash the like button, keep getting them up, pause, and we'll keep going with this. Omar Maresca, I think Chelsea's actually in a win-win situation, Miguel, yeah? Because as much as this could probably be laughable at size of a club like Chelsea, because we're going to ask the question, what's the difference between Graham Potter and so forth? Like, what's the difference in that appointment? The thing is, if this one does not work out, right, then it goes to show how shit that board is, and all the fans can unite and be like, this is not it. But if it works out, then it works out, obviously, and you're still winning in that way. So I think Chelsea fans right now, you should be quite optimistic because this could spark something a little bit different. But obviously, I'm going to ask you again, what's the difference in Graham Potter and Enzo Maresca? He might be the best Enzo at the club.
At this moment in time, I can't judge the manager because I don't know what he's going to do at Chelsea. But one thing I do know is Chelsea's board and Chelsea's fans and Chelsea's new owner, they don't have patience. They don't have patience to give somebody time to do well or to get themselves out of a hole when they're in a hole. It's
really this season, no.
Pochettino, you gave him the whole year and you still sacked him at the end of the year due to
but it wasn't they had patience regarding his results ago.
Okay, you want to know something?
They've got patience with Whit, Stanley, and Stewart, who have now appointed three different managers that haven't worked.
If you're sacking Tuchel, you're sacking Graham Potter, and you wait until the end of the year and you sack Pochettino, it still shows you haven't shown any patience with any of those managers. There could be.
Well, I don't think it's fair to say there was patience.
Listen, Potter, he didn't deserve the time, but they still hired him, right? When it comes to Pochettino, you can't tell me they had patience with Pochettino. They gave him the whole year and still sacked him at the end when he showed progress.
Yeah, but it wasn't results-based, Gal. So it's not to do with patience, is it? It's the fact that they were both heading in different directions. What they wanted the club to be, what they wanted their team to look like, were completely different. The only people at fault there, right, no matter what, is the people that hired Pochettino, because ultimately they've not got the message across when he's applied for the job and interviewed for the job. They've not told him that if you go against this, you're not going to be a good fit for us. They've not told him that. So ultimately he's now at fault. They showed patience with Pochettino because there were 3-4 times in the season when he could have well been sacked, and Potter was sacked for the same thing and Tuchel was sacked for even less. So they could have sacked him. They showed patience with Pochettino. The only reason that relationship's broken down between the pairing, between the board and Pochettino himself as the manager, is because of their requirements and wants and needs for assembling a team that they believe could win.
Okay, fair enough. If you want to say other external factors was the reason why Pochettino left, fair enough. But what makes you think that there's not going to be another issue down the road? Because it seemed like Thomas Tuchel's issue was that he didn't want anything to do with the transfers. And now you have Pochettino, who reportedly wants stuff to do with the transfers. These are the reports that are coming out. It seems like every time we're getting fed information on reasons why managers are leaving, but at the same time, it's the same owners hiring these managers and letting them leave due to their own issues. So you're right. It is down to the owners, and I don't think the owners can get can get it right unless they sit back and let the person that they hire do their job. They need to take a hands-off approach. That's my whole point. It's about the ownership needing to take a hands-off approach. And if you're going to give somebody time and you're going to give them the nurturing and the time to develop with a young team, they're going to need that. The players need the time to develop a new system and style with the manager. They need to work and get training. And I think coaching is going to be important also, especially with you guys being in Europe. So I'm not going to write off any manager you guys bring in. I'm just going to see if Chelsea can have the patience from the ownership standpoint, not interfering, not doing too much, and from a fan base standpoint, because we've seen your fans did end up turning it around with Pochettino. If the new manager comes in and has a tough time the first couple weeks, will they get on his back or will they back it? Because they need to.
No, they will get on his back because of the risk of the appointment. I think that's the biggest thing to consider here. And I think some things you say, Agal, are bang on. I think the issue is that with this right now, is this Chelsea board, they want top four. They want to be challenging for trophies, titles, European football, but they also want a young, exciting manager. And they're going to put an awful lot of pressure on Maresca to be the man that delivers that. And if he's not delivering that, the fans are going to get on the board's back, because ultimately this comes down to the board making a horrific decision if it doesn't work out. If it works out, well done, everyone. Like, they were right and the fans were wrong and we're heading in the right direction. That's what Cass is saying. It could be win-win, but it could be massive lose if it goes wrong as well, by the way. It could be the most toxic, horrific atmosphere we've ever seen. This appointment is way more riskier than Graham Potter by an absolute mile. And I think you're right, Agal. I think they probably didn't show enough patience with Graham Potter, because if Graham Potter had the young squad that arrived the summer after he left, potentially he could have worked with that squad and maybe had a bit of influence. But ultimately, he never even got the chance to do that. And then they brought in Pochettino, who was a blend between playing the type of football they wanted, maybe someone that could have a bit of time. But ultimately, someone didn't relay the right message to Pochettino to tell him, you can't have any influence on the squad. Now, looking back, they probably looked at Tuchel and went, maybe we could have given him more of a chance. But honestly, they're looking at a young manager now who they have to be patient with to potentially get the style of football. But if he starts losing and we start moving down from where we were with Poch, everyone's going to obviously
this could be a divisive signing, because it's going to come down to how well he's able to portray his message to the fan base to believe in him. But if he's getting the point across to the players, and the players start to back him, like the players started to do at the end of the Pochettino era, but your fans are not getting the message, it could take that's the real issue. Because if your fans don't get the message from the manager that this is the direction they're heading in, they don't see the right signs, they don't see the right things, it could become divisive at Chelsea once again. And
let me ask Mons. Yeah, because you know what's funny, yeah. We talk about who gets the last laugh. I love saying that, right? Like I did Chelsea fans. We relegated you to the Conference League, so hold that one, you bunch of bums. Yeah, Mons.
We're not even in it yet, by the way.
We laughed. Oh yeah,
wait, you're not in the Conference League?
They got to play playoffs.
We got to do qualify, yeah.
rounds.
I heard you guys. Matt Law said you might not even want to play in it.
I don't blame them. I do not. Blame
how do you feel, Agal, about being
them.
having your chance of silverware next season taken away from you?
Excuse me?
Well, the only silverware you won this year was the Charity Shield. You only got in it because we beat United in the final last year. With United beating us, it means your chance of silverware next season's fucked.
I'm pretty sure we're still in the Champions League. We're in the league.
Yeah,
we're
fucked.
We're in the League Cup.
Fucked. Yes, you're fucked.
And also the team that wins the Community Shield 9 times out of 10 doesn't win the league. So
I agree. We probably won't win it. United will beat us again. It's another. I've already said it's another shit day for me. I'm going to go Wembley to watch my team fucking lose, probably, because we'll lose to them. But I'm just saying.
Or you could.
You man needed us to get you in that Community Shield, so at the end of the season next year you can celebrate a plate again.
You want to know something? It's funny how you're mentioning us when Newcastle needed you to win to get into.
I don't care about Newcastle. We're in a tight race with you, bro. It's not funny. It's pretty obvious.
Chelsea needed you to win to get into.
Yeah, bro. Do you think Chelsea and Newcastle are on my radar, bro? Come on.
It even gets better. You needed to win to get the domestic league double.
Just did a 4-peat, mate.
Who cares? You could have done a double.
No one cares except for me. I get
Apparently,
it. I've been told that once or twice.
Because they're talking about Arsenal more than they're talking about losing a cup.
No, we definitely care about doing the 4-peat, bro. I'm just saying.
We can do this tango. Don't worry.
All right, let me.
I'm just saying, don't bring up Newcastle and Chelsea aren't on my radar. It's obvious that at the moment you lot are on our radar. You finished second, bro. So of course I'm gonna. I've got your brethren fucking tweeting about our club at 3:00 in the morning every day. So you know.
And you wanna know something? Should be, because you guys won all these.
3 in the morning, you should be sleeping, bro.
1 second. You guys won all these trophies. People should be on your back. People should be getting at you guys. But you wanna know something? At the same time,
another thing I want to know many things.
When people get at City, it don't get them traction. So they know getting at Arsenal.
No one cares, bro. No one cares.
That's what they do. The reason why people do it is because it gets more reactions out of them.
Let me.
That's why I'm mentioning your club, because everyone cares about your club.
Nothing to do with
No, I'm not concerned. I love mocking you, because ultimately the one thing that Arsenal fans need to realize, is all of this mockery and everything, bro. It's just because your fan base are fucking obnoxious and arrogant. That's all it is. And also, you're a big club. You're a big club with a McDonald's chair. That's all it is.
And you want to know something? You're a good club with a McDonald's fan base. That's what it is.
Thank you, sir.
I know which one I'd rather. But
I know too. But at the same time,
what have you been doing for the last? What have you been doing for the last 10 days? Tell me.
Listen, I don't know why Mons is talking.
Because I can tell you what I've been doing for the last 10 days, and it's a lot of fucking celebrating. So,
bro,
I know which one.
Yesterday?
Oh, here we go.
No, because I was in London for 4 days, bro. I was hanging out my ass. So no, I didn't go up to a fucking piss poor Manchester where it's raining, bro. I didn't. I came back from Wembley and went to bed.
No, you know what? Enjoy yourself.
Like a
loser. I prefer to go to games than parades, if I'm being honest with you. But you know.
Yeah, let me ask Mons anyway. Let me skip this. By the way, 500 people in it and only 120 likes. That's like if you divide 500 by 5, you get what? Well, you get about what?
What did you just do, Cass? By the way,
500 divided by what? Oh, I just got
No,
some
no,
water.
no.
Why?
Oh, right, okay. I wasn't sure if there was someone at the door or something.
My mouth is dry. Trust me, just like Chelsea's appointment. Mons, you got Arne Slot, yeah? That's how you say his name, Arne Slot. We all laughed. Yeah. Teams need a new managers. The only one that's actually here that's linked to a new manager out of Chelsea, Man United and stuff. They're not winners, unfortunately. We got Zerbi, great, right? He's looking likely. Enzo Maresca, or should we call him Enzo Molester? Yeah, great.
What?
But Mons, what do you feel about this appointment? Because you know what? I don't think I can laugh at Liverpool at this point in time, you know?
Once you're on mute.
I keep telling Chelsea fans, I have to keep repeating myself, like this whole competition thing with me, it's a bit weird, isn't it? Like, you want to laugh at me the first chance that you can get, only to throw stones at glass houses once again. It's just ironic, really. You know, Orny slut, cum shot, slut drop. Fucking hell, there's a few other ones that, you know what I'm saying? There's a few. Lex Luthor, that's the new one that I've been hearing.
Does look like Les Luthor, to be fair. He does.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
He does.
I like the one like Kingpin. I like Kingpin, to be fair. That's a good one. But that jokes aside, like Chelsea, you know what I'm saying, going on like, you know, Mr. Big Bollocks, you know, giving it the big un, you know what I'm saying? Only to you know, cry about my Caicedo cries and, you know, oh, your manager's shit now, you're gonna be done. What did Ches say? Ches's first thing, oh my god. Ches's first thing was, don't let us finish above you next season. That's I was hearing some of that as well. Don't let me finish above you next season. So Poch gets fired.
I think he said that to Cass last year as well, to be fair.
Bro, it's crazy. Poch gets fired, bro. Poch gets fired. And he leaves on mutual consent. And these men are linked to Thomas the Frank Engine. Yeah. They're linked to
that's a good one.
Bro, Enzo fucking
Molester.
Bro, two Enzos in one club.
Who's
Two
the
Enzos, one cup. I don't know what you want to call it. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know what the hell you guys want to. And then who's the other guy? They had someone else. And then McKenna.
Ipswich McKenna. Paul McKenna.
Yeah.
Paul McKenna, the magician.
Yeah, McKenna, McKenzie, McTominay, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, this is it. Like, it's just great to see the truth unfold. That Chelsea have had 4 managers and 2 interims in 2 years, and 3 of those managers were Potter, Poch, and now Enzo Molester. Please remember that these guys once had Sarri, yeah, then Sarri, Conte, and Tuchel. Now they've gone from Champions League winners to Conference League qualifiers. Honestly, you can't make it up. You can't make it up. All after spending 1 billion. So guess what, guys? Just because my manager's name rhymes with horny slut, check your own house first before you look at my leaks. The leaks in my roof, all right?
Do you know what, Monts? My boy from Holland, who is Feyenoord fan, but he's got a soft spot for City, so sometimes he meets up with us at European aways. He came over for the final, and I said to him, I'll be real, I wanted him to fucking say no, he's a shit manager. I said to him, what's horny slut like? And he said, yeah, he's banging. He's very, very good. And all of us were going, no, I don't want to hear that. But he said he's very, very, very good manager. So we will see. I know nothing about him, but
you have to translate it to the Prem. That's one of the biggest things. Can you translate it to
100%. I think that's where you have to give him time, innit? Because first season Pep, we finished 3rd and won, I think, no trophy. So you do have to give you will have to give him time. You can't. I think that's the key with Chelsea's fan base is they just need to. They just need to give him time, and I know we're going to have that soon as well.
Chelsea in time, the managers get swapped out like every 7 months. A manager's lifespan's like 7 months over there. They are.
I think the problem is
one of the last streams you even did with me was when I called Chelsea hire and fire FC, and Don just wasn't hearing it.
No, I do remember. The thing is, I think what's happened, right, is that. Obviously, Chelsea were, everyone knows, very successful. But they went through this kind of model of successful, Manager drops off, sack him, new manager comes in, success. So ultimately, it worked. Yeah, it's worked.
Roman.
But then, yeah, I know. But what's happened is the fan base has now become, well, you know, and I get it because everything I think's happened at Chelsea. I kind of see elements of it bubbling away with my club, right? That when Pep goes, the next manager that comes in, that it's young fans that have seen nothing but one thing. They expect one thing, right? And so I think at the moment, Chelsea fans would expect, well, if we get rid of a manager that's not doing well, we're going to get one that comes in and does well. If that doesn't work, but I think the truth is, with the amount they're spending, the age of the players they're bringing in, etc., they have to be patient. They have to just, unless you're literally going out and grabbing Zinedine Zidane or something, and then even then, Zinedine Zidane's going to walk in the dressing room and go, no, completely wrong range of players. I need all new players. So I think they have to be patient. It's just, with the world of YouTube and social media, it's fucking hard to be patient. Ask a gal.
It's true. I mean, no, listen, the gal has all the patience in the world.
Hey,
how about this?
No, but it's true though, isn't it, gal? It's hard because it's fucking.
As long as they keep
had this
improving,
conversation 20 minutes ago.
as long as they keep improving, they're fine. They're fine over there.
No, me and Dan were literally having this
Yeah,
conversation 2 seconds ago. You know what I mean?
It's just,
as long as
it's
they keep
hard, but
improving.
whereas back before, you probably had more time to be patient before the world of YouTube, before the world of social media. You know, ask United for fuck's sake with Fergie. In fact, Fergie nearly got sacked. They had to be patient with him. The board had to realise. I remember seeing a story where Fergie took, I think it was Charlton, said to Charlton, come down to the training academy with me and let me show you some of these players. And Charlton went down there with him and said, fucking hell, is that what's going on here?
Chelsea,
and said, but that was before social media. So Fergie got given time and look what happened. But in this day and age, we live in a world where people don't want to watch an hour-long stream. So they'd rather watch a 30-second on TikTok. So it's hard.
That's Chelsea signings under Roman Abramovich was win now. Chelsea signings under this.
So the managers, from managers
and the managers.
Yeah.
Chelsea right now, I think it's a whole culture shock, and this is since their whole culture of how they were built for those Roman years has been changed by the new ownership, and that's the real thing that's going to be difficult for the fans to grasp and get used to. Dan, you probably might agree with me on that.
Yeah, it's tough because we've seen a method work and be probably one of the best, if not the best, for a period of time in terms of winning trophies, and a model that worked. That if a manager was sort of losing the dressing room or results weren't going the way that it should be, he'd be removed and someone would come in. I think the biggest thing to remember here is that although we were renowned for sacking and hiring managers at a pretty alarming rate some years, the most important thing was that no matter when Roman hired that manager, he gave them the absolute best conditions to succeed. They were backed with financially, they were backed with control, they were backed in a lot of elements that they wanted. I think the most important thing here is that so far in the time that Todd Bowley's owned Chelsea, or Clearlake have, that they haven't been backed. They haven't been given what they want. Pochettino asked for a simple request in terms of probably he probably would have been happy with a couple of players. Maybe literally 2 players might have done enough to keep that relationship okay, but it didn't happen. He didn't want a staff member coming in that they ultimately hired. They haven't given any of the managers so far their best conditions to succeed.
Do you know what?
Then they're sacking them, which is a bit unfair.
It's simple rules of management, empowerment, empower everyone, put someone in a role and then empower them to do the job in their role and feel like they're trusted to do their job, and you stay in your role and everyone else stays in their role, and you just concentrate. And you're spot on, you know, that's the truth. I don't know, man. I still, it sounds mad. And I'm getting to a point now, I think, yeah, you know what? Until Chelsea might be fucked because of their owner. But I still stand by the fact that, obviously, Cass, you've got new owners now, but Glazer's got to a point where they're never going to change because they've been in this game for too long. Obviously, now you've brought in Ineos, but with Chelsea, I still would say, what is this? Is Bowley's second year?
Third.
Going into his third. Right. So boards do change. Like, he could be learning on the job and he could realise, but at this point, it's getting maybe to a point, looking at the management and whatever, that maybe he isn't changing and he's just going, nah, I'm doing it my way, which is my way or the highway. And if that is the way, I fear for Chelsea's fan base, to be honest, because I don't know how it works out.
The only way that I feel that this board learn, right, Daps, is financially. As soon as their pockets are hit, I think they might learn. I think with a lot of other boards, they'd look at results and go, okay, this isn't working, we need to change. The only way this board is going to learn is when they go, when we're at year 5 of an 8-year contract and things like that, and they look at their players and go, we bought these players for a lot of money. They're not worth anything now. Like we're 5 years into this and nothing's happened. We haven't competed for a trophy. We haven't, like, the best we did was an FA Cup run. We've hired a manager from a sub-tier league. I think the only way they learn is when their pockets are hit. I think the only people they seem to be being patient with and giving a bit of time to is Whit Stanley and Stewart. Even Vivell, there was no patience involved there. That was a guy we hired from the Red Bull system. He wanted Nagelsmann. They didn't agree with that. The only successful person he managed to bring in was Nkunku. And then he obviously is now on gardening leave, or has been this season. The other two, Whit Stanley and Stewart, they seem to be the only two people that they're being patient with. And ultimately, I don't think they've provided any results yet in the sporting director role that they're in. You could argue that the squad they've assembled is subpar, and the management that they've got
more
is
than that,
subpar.
though, man. It's more than that, though, Dan. I don't know if I said it to you or is it Ches before, but you're more fucked from who's above you is the CEO of Chelsea, right? You can look at you go look at Man City CEO, wherever it's Ferran Soriano, right? Serrano. He used to be at Barcelona, general manager and all that. He has some sort of background within sports, right? Even Arsenal's CEO, I think his name's Vinay Venkatacham or something like that. He also has a background in sports. He used to do up the whole Olympic stuff, you know, so he's well connected and he knows what's going on within sports. Liverpool CEO right now is Michael Edwards, right? He is of a sporting background, football. All he knows is football. Man United's new CEO is Omar Barada, of course, right? And obviously from City, he's got a massive background in multiple roles since about 2003.
He was at Barcelona as well before City.
The thing is, Chelsea's CEO, I know this is kind of boring to talk about a little bit, but this guy he's already said he's not actually a football fan whatsoever, right? Not a football fan, and all he knows is business. And CEO is not just about, it's great. You got a CEO that knows about business, but it's got to be more than that, because you need to know who to point in sporting directions to go forward as a club. And when I say, you lot look like you're in the midst of a Glazers 2.0, but instead they actually fund your club because you got no choice because you can't milk out of Chelsea. I'm saying it could be true, but I don't know, man. If you're not a Chelsea fan, again, you're in a win-win situation regardless, because the fan base will either unite one way or another at the end of next season. And then you will know where you want to go as a Chelsea fan base. Do you want to get rid of these fuckers and go for a real protest and get them out? Or do you go and win? Do you know what I mean? It's one way or another.
I'll be honest, mate. I think so far in the time that they've been in charge of Chelsea, they've arguably been worse than the Glazers. Only time will tell. They might be a little bit more ambitious in terms of what they want to achieve, but whether or not they're actually capable of doing that, I'm not sure. But right now, the drop-off that the club's seen in the last two and a half years that they've been involved is monumental compared to how far Manchester United fell in that time. You were still winning trophies when the Glazers were in charge.
I think man, as well,
it was still papering over cracks.
I think social media and the whole presence of everyone looking at football almost literally at a game-by-game basis and being like really reactionary and stuff doesn't help. It doesn't help teams like Chelsea and kind of United as well. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know, maybe back in like 2016 when Klopp got appointed and we was able to kind of finish 8th. Yes, we got to a cup final, but we finished 8th. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if social media was kind of how it was now, I reckon there would have been a lot more uproar of that first season of Jurgen Klopp. I think no one would have said Klopp out, but I feel like there would have been a lot more frustration. I think maybe
I remember when we lost the Champions League, people were questioning if Klopp should keep the job.
Yeah, bro. When we well, I wouldn't. Yeah, there were parts of the fan base saying that, but I feel like it was harsh because of the way Salah got injured and whatnot. And I think it was harsh, and we did make top 4 that year. You know what I'm saying? I feel like
on the final day,
yeah, exactly, on the final day, because at the end of the day, that was our aim at the start of the season. But I think now with the way everything is so reactionary, like if maybe Poch had that season with Chelsea. Then again, I say this, but with how ruthless Chelsea, I think Chelsea were more ruthless under Roman. I think Poch probably wouldn't have easily. Yeah. But I'm saying more so from a fan base perspective. I feel like if Poch had more time, if he was given another season, I feel like that option in hindsight. We don't know yet, but I'm looking at it like, could that have been better than the manager you're currently hiring now, or the other guy that you're linked with? And I'm not saying Poch was good enough to keep the job, by the way. That's not me saying that either.
If he got fourth, would he have kept the job, even with the issues?
No, because the issues would have always arose. He would have always wanted to improve the squad, and they wouldn't have been happy sort of listening to his requirements. I think the biggest problem is that they don't want to hire someone who's got a reputation in football, because then that allows them to be questioned by someone with more experience than them.
They want yes men.
It looks like you're going to sign him on a 2-year deal with a further season optional. That's what's being said.
It's crazy. Obviously, it feels like these managers are walking in and just putting down their own terms in terms of like what they want, because this is completely different to the Potter deal, completely different to the Pochettino deal. Obviously, he did sign a 2-year, but I don't think there was an option to extend. I'm not entirely sure. But look, to be honest, if they go and hire him, they go and hire him. I think the issue is that Chelsea fans maintain their standards. That's why people were Poch out. That's why people felt that he was never a good fit. Ultimately, Pochettino got Chelsea back into contention for European places, improved 20 points on Graham Potter's Chelsea, did an okay job. Maybe another year would have been okay, and we could have bided our time with him and potentially moved a little bit closer back towards top 4, top 5 places in the Premier League. And then I think everyone thought that Chelsea would then go for another manager that's going to propel us back into success with a stable baseline that Pochettino got us to.
Just really, you know, bro, you know, sometimes, and I'm not saying this would happen, but football's a funny old sport where we were speaking about Arteta the exact same way, and then they fucked up getting top 4, and then they ended up challenging for a title the next year. Like, I'm not saying that that's not normal, innit? That's not normal. Obviously, that's good work from their side of things, but
no, but we've seen the trajectory.
Like when you finish, I feel like that was a big jump though.
If you say you see the trajectory, you can say the same off the way Chelsea ended last season, to be fair.
Maybe not so much from Arsenal.
I honestly thought if Chelsea didn't make too many changes, brought in a striker, a goalkeeper, and another midfielder, they could be pushing for third next season.
Well, I said they would be my dark horses.
Yeah, but on the basis of Pochettino's results, not on the basis of Maresca, who we're not sure.
No.
And the young players you have improving.
I'm just saying football's a weird sport, because when Arsenal finished 5th, and the questions were really being asked, they went from 5th place to 93% for top of the league to 93% of the. That is a massive jump.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's a massive jump. I'm not saying
there's a lot of factors. It's not just the manager.
Of course, it's obviously there's different factors in Arsenal.
Everyone working together. Chelsea disconnected.
Yeah, but the thing is, we were saying this. Chelsea was starting to connect. There was
Yeah.
So, and as I said, don't get me wrong. Poch for me didn't warrant staying at the job, but I feel like those last 8 or 9 games gave like a glimmer of light. It's
Since
not like
2024,
like
2024 is a bit of a push. I know the form guide looks like it was better, but there was still some horrific. There's some horrific performances.
Yeah.
No, but if you were to go from 2024 onwards, I think you only lost like 3 games in the league.
Yeah, but Gal, you're looking at the games where we've drawn and we should definitely have won, and the games where we've won as well, and we've been pretty woeful. There was still mistakes there. I think the issue is that, like I've said a number of times here, is that Chelsea, it doesn't look as if on paper Chelsea are taking a step forward now, and it also looks like they didn't learn from the Graham Potter appointment, that actually that's a risky appointment to make and potentially it might not work. So look, they're only going to learn if they keep making these mistakes and eventually realize it's obviously not working.
I agree with you, but I think they learned one thing: not to give out 6-year contracts to new managers.
Well, that's one thing.
That's facts. They learned that, because they're still paying Potter's wage now.
Yeah. By the way, there's still over how many people in here, and we're not even on 200 likes yet. So do get smashing the like button. 45 minutes in. Come on, man. You people, don't be lazy. It does. Us content creators ask all the time. Don't get me wrong, but on here we barely ask. So if you don't mind running it up, just double check. A lot of you have got an account, and it's literally underneath your live screen. Just turn it up that way, and you'll find it. It's just right there. But big up to everyone that has done so at the moment. But there's something that's obviously been going around yesterday, which caught people by surprise when it wasn't really a surprise, because I thought we spoke about it last week, and Dax will know this. Is obviously Jack Gaughan came out and officially said for himself that obviously Pep is likely to leave at the end of his contract next year, even though Pep said it in a press conference. Pep leaving means a lot of things for the Premier League. And really and truly, Pep leaving, rivals getting gassed that manager leaves, that shows how is the
No
word
one cares.
gargantuan?
Shows no one cares. Shows no one cares until it's negative about City. Then everyone cares.
Of course, that's how it works.
Yeah, 100%. That is how it works. It's ironic. I don't know if ironic's the right word. Nah, but so basically, the bit that confused me is, let me be clear. I'm not downplaying the news that he reported, right? Jack Gordon is a valid, he's one of the good guys. He's one of the people that reports things that generally there's truth to it. The bit that confuses me, and it doesn't really confuse me, City yesterday were trending because everyone wanted to talk about our trophy parade, right? Therefore, release news about City. I get it, but when everyone's reacting to it, I'm thinking, but literally a week ago, last Sunday, straight out of the horse's mouth, not even a reporter, on the Sunday, Pep said, at this point, I am closer to leaving than I am staying, but I have a year left on my contract and I need to be round the players and I need to see the desire and then I'll make a final decision if I stay or go. He said it himself. Then on the Monday, another one of City's reliable journalists, can't remember his name now, he released that the plan is, and I've been told this about 2 weeks previous, the plan is that City Group want to keep Pep and Kevin De Bruyne in the City Group, and they want them to go over to New York at the end of next season because their stadium's going to be open in about season and a half's time. And obviously, at the moment, everyone in America is talking about Miami. I need to get everyone talking about New York City with the new stadium. And that makes a hell of a lot of sense. Pep's got a house over there. Pretty certain when Pep was on his sabbatical in between Barcelona and Bayern, he went and lived in New York. His sister lives in New York. So, look, the truth is, yeah, Pep is going to leave. I thought Pep was going to leave after 3 years, by the way. So, like, there's no way. The number 10 sounds better, innit? Say I've stayed at a club for 10 years, right? But even when he won the Champions League last year and did the 3-peat, I thought, you know what? We're on borrowed time now because we're lucky he signed the contract because that gets you a bit further. He's going to go in it. And it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for us City fans because everything comes to an end, right? And you have to get used to it. Like, we are in a good place that with Man United under Fergie, before Fergie, I know periods before, Busby era, all of that, yeah, United have won trophies. But in my lifetime, I've only seen Man United win trophies, really, win leagues under Fergie, yeah? I saw my club win leagues before Pep got here. Yeah. So anyone that says City are fucked, they're dropping off massively, incorrect. Right. We have we've just spent 40 minutes talking about predominantly how ultimately everything at Chelsea is to do with the board. Now we have, in my opinion, at this point, if we're found guilty, we'll have another conversation. But at this point, we have the best board in the Premier League, right? As far as for supporting managers, for getting the right people in the right place, for when one person goes, another person comes in. So, but I'm under no disillusion that when Pep goes, there will be a drop-off, right? Of course there will be. And it is what it is. Who we get, I don't know. I think what Gordon reported was that the Girona manager is...
Michelle.
Yeah, he's one of the names on there. I've heard that Pep. Oh, so actually, just to put to this as well, Tiki. There's reports that he's going to leave at the same point, and there's also reports that De Bruyne are going to leave at the same point, right? But it's what it is. You know, the good thing is, Khaldoon already knows this. He'll be using Tiki and using Pep because you know they're all friends, they're all family to help talent ID for who they get. I know Pep likes Zerbi, and I think the other name that I've seen mentioned is Alonso said he wants to stay for one more year. City have already looked into what his release clause is and whatever. So, but I'll be honest with you, Igal, if I'm an Arsenal fan right now, I am looking at it and thinking, do you know what? In a year's time, if Arsenal want to actually become a dominant club, not a big club, a not successful club, a dominant club, something that in our lifetime we have never seen, We've never seen Arsenal be a dominant club. Even in the period when you won your 3 Premier Leagues, you weren't being dominant. You were being dominated by Man United, but you were good, right? I believe Arsenal's next time round, they want to be a dominant club. This is the time because Liverpool, new manager, bit of a period of change. Man United, everything's changing over there. Chelsea, everything's changing. Now, if City get rid of Pep, that is where Arsenal could go, here, let's go on a bit of a run here. And I think that is why any Arsenal fans that are thinking maybe now's the time to get rid of Arteta, no. Because you do that, you're putting yourself all of a sudden back where all of us might be. You need to use the fact that you're stable at the moment. You've got a manager, that you've got a group of players, and just, keep going. Maybe next season won't be your year. The maddest thing your board could do is at the end of next season sack Arteta, unless of course you completely drop off, because the season after, Pep's first season we came third, 1-0. So there will be a period of change at Manchester City, and everyone needs to be ready for that. Of course, let's put one caveat in there. People change their mind, right? And Pep did say straight from the horse's mouth, I need to be round the players next season to see what their desire is like and see if, he might decide he wants to sign another 1-year extension or whatever. But me personally, I'm preparing myself that at the end of next season, Pep Guardiola is leaving. I've already been preparing myself for a couple of weeks now. So
I don't know about you, Monchi. Pep leaving, can't wait. Tiki, their director of football, can't wait. Kevin De Bruyne, oh my God, there's gonna be some awkward conversations about top Premier League midfielders of all time.
Questions for rivals.
Go on.
Which one would you lot rather? Pep Guardiola leaves or 115 we get found guilty of?
Found guilty.
115.
Found guilty.
Right, are you man looking for them trophies? You're trying to get them.
It belittles everything you've done.
Don't let Ole Gunnar Solskjaer get a trophy. That's good.
I don't think we get medals. I don't know if we get medals.
No. It doesn't mean nothing.
Would you accept the medals?
We won't get the trophies in the record.
Yeah, I don't think that it works that way. I don't think we get the medals anyway.
I don't even know if they'd get abolished from your end. It's just mentally from us, it would get abolished.
I mean, just to be clear. All right, so if we get, let me play on that a bit. So you just said that if we get found guilty of 115, then mentally in your head you're going to go, yeah, you know what? So maybe kind of we did technically win those leagues.
It will ruin your club for the future.
Okay, no problem. So if we get found guilty of 115, okay, no problem. So if we get found guilty of 115, mentally you said that you'll feel a bit better.
No.
So is that's what you said? Oh, you've changed it now. That is what you said.
No. That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
It's not what you said. It's what Igal said.
I said the trophies will actually not get abolished. The Premier League will not.
Yeah, but then you said that mentally it would make us feel a bit better. That's what you said.
Everyone will look back at the 4P and say it's tainted.
Okay, great, perfect. So either way, however we put it, same shit.
I don't know why are you going down a hypothetical.
Because I want to ask.
Oh, I'm gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
Cass, stop one sec. Don't do that. Getting angry, bro. I'm not getting angry, please. It's not evening. I haven't had a drink. Don't do that. Getting angry, gal. It's bitch moves. I'm not getting angry. But the reason why I'm asking you is because the hypothetical thing is because it's a receipt ultimately. So you're saying that we will be tainted if we get found guilty of 115. So you okay, no problem. So are you telling me that if we bust case, yeah, you won't dare say, well, we know brown envelopes, so it doesn't matter anyway.
I don't say that right now, to be fair.
Cool.
Did you hear what he said, by the way? He said, would you rather Pep leaves and they're not guilty of anything, or would you rather Pep stays even if the 115 is guilty? Personally, I'd rather Pep fuck off.
And then you can win it fair and square, right?
I'll be honest. Even if the thing is with me, I'm with what Dap said earlier. Man City, for me, are still very much all the way capable of winning leagues after Pep. I'm sorry. Like the board and the way the clubs run it's just so outside of the allegations, it's just very sustainable. So for me, if Pep leaves, there's still a massive threat to the Premier League. So to me, it's like, I'd rather find them guilty at least be guilty of some shit because this shit is too good.
If they're found guilty, their club will diminish. In my opinion, the way it won't be on this.
I'll be honest with you. If we're found guilty,
it won't just come back from any club can come back from. We've seen teams get relegated for from the madnesses in Italy and that. And
Bro,
and
Do you know the other thing is? The other thing is though, there's
What?
right. So firstly, it's not just going to be from you lot. If we get found guilty, you do understand that us as fans, yeah, are going to be in a like. We love our board, right? Pep is close friends with senior board members, right? Senior board members have said, who are Pep's best friends, have told him, we are not guilty, we are beating them, yeah? So, and us as fans have been told, we are not guilty, we are beating them. So from Pep to the fans, if we are found guilty, fully found guilty, yeah, best believe there's going to be questions from Pep, there's going to be questions from us, because all of a sudden, the board we love is like, ultimately, you fucking lied to us. The only thing they've ever done wrong, and they've admitted to, was the Super League, right? At this point. If all of a sudden we find out that they have been, I understand they probably did what, if they got found guilty, they might have done what they are accused of doing for the good of the club, but ultimately it's the lying to us afterwards. But let me be clear. One, I think we will beat the charges. Secondly, even if we do get found guilty of a couple of charges, anyone that thinks City are being relegated, yeah, I think you're being very, very, very
You're not getting
naive.
relegated, but all the teams that you beat to trophies will either sue you or get some sort of reprimandation.
You think, bro?
Reparations.
Yeah,
you're still being naive.
You're gonna get in some big trouble if City get found guilty of all those
not,
charges.
all of you lot are going to be in big trouble then. If we're not, all of you lot are going to be in big trouble.
No,
for
we
all this
wouldn't, because
slandering.
you're not the one fighting a case. It's like somebody. It's like
Do you think we're going to be found guilty, Gal?
No, you brought up the hypothetical.
No, I'm asking you. Do you think we'll be found guilty?
I don't even think you're guilty, but you brought up the hypothetical.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't think
you're
you're
the
guilty
first.
I don't think you're guilty of anything that they can prove that you're guilty of. Genuinely.
Okay.
So when it comes to this, I'm simply saying, if you do get found guilty, and in your hypothetical, I do think that one, it would ruin your club. Two, it would be a situation where your club would be struggling for years to get back to the state that they're at because of all the reputational things.
No, the state we're at.
And all the players,
I agree with
all
that.
All the players are probably going to jump ship. Legacy is going to be potentially ruined also, because he now has the cheating scandal at Barcelona and the scandal at City. That's two of his most biggest jobs in his career. So the ramifications is not only for yourselves and the fans.
But ultimately, you don't think we are going to be found guilty?
No, because no way the Premier League is going to
I don't think we're going to be found guilty either.
Chelsea will never get found guilty for anything that diminishes their club. You will not be found guilty for anything, because they will ultimately be ruining the product, the Premier League.
Yeah, let me run this. I think once Pep leaves, there will be not one team that dominates. I think it will open up more. Arteta not elite enough. But if we're going off, if on that note, it's Donny. Big up for the super chat, by the way. The more likely club to go and dominate, considering the age of their team, the players that they got, the players they will bring in. Obviously, situations can change, but in 1 year's time, I guarantee City will still end up finishing second or third. Like that's the thing. It's easy. It's easy. Football is the best thing about football is that you never know what can flip on its head, because all of a sudden a team like Chelsea, who is slandering, could be just up there, bro. Like, and that's it.
You know what? But what you said there, ago, I agree with when you said, that if we were to be found guilty, we will never get back to the level of where we are. I'll be real, bro. I'll sat here and comfortably say, once Pep leaves, I think we'll struggle to ever get back to the level we are at, and that is because the level we are at, no one in English football history has ever been at. We've just done in the last 7 years 100 points, domestic double, domestic treble. Everyone laughed at it and said, domestic treble, although no one had done it. Then went and did the proper treble. We've done a 4-peat. We're doing stuff that there's so many things we've done that no one's done. That, and I do believe, this is the one thing I'll say, I think Pep will go at the end of the season, next season, yeah? Best believe, based on that, I think there is not a chance in hell that we do not win the league next season. You think Pep's looking to dip without doing a 5-peat, yeah?
You know something?
I honestly believe we're going to win the league next season, bro, and I don't think we'll ever get back to that.
We've seen clubs farewell tour get ruined. You never know. I think
agreed. But again, I think I agree with you, bro. It could. I'm not saying. I said I think. I'm not saying we will. I think we will. But the truth is, we're ready for this. Like, I'm 41 years old, right?
Oh,
Manchester City have been good since, I'm 41. 41.
Happy
41.
41st,
41 years old.
hey.
Look good for 41, bro. Good for 41.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. But I'm 41. I'm very immature for my age, but I'm 41. There we go. Right. City have been dominant. City have been winning stuff since 2011. Right.
Okay.
So if you do the maths, most of my life, more than half of my lifetime, we were shit. I never dreamed of an FA Cup. Yeah. We've had this period now. It could be 2 years' time, could be 5 years' time, could be 10 years' time, could be whatever. We could end up in the Europa League. We can end up back 12th. But we've done something now where I can sit there and I'm going to be in the same pubs. I'm going to be in the same ground, sitting with the same people. And we'll be able to go, do you know what? We had that mint period. But yesterday or Sunday, when we went back to the Green Man after the game, and I was a bit fucking deflated, yeah? And I had to kick myself and say, stop being an entitled prick, right? There was a sign that had clearly been made by a young kid, right? A De Bruyne sign, and he'd put it in the bin after the game, yeah? And a few of us were going, nah, man, these young City kids, yeah, they've had it too easy. They've had it too easy where it's becoming like... so, I don't know. But don't get me wrong, winning makes it a damn sight easier. And Man United reminded me of that on Saturday because it did not feel good losing to them at all.
Well, someone talking about losing, I was gonna swift this conversation over because it come from everyone's got them Twitter accounts that are in the know. Unfortunately, like there's Chelsea accounts. You're like, how the fuck do you know that? Man United ones, Liverpool ones. There's an Arsenal one, and apparently Rashford's been having conversations with Arteta of a potential move. Right?
Why is his release clause so low, bro?
Whose?
Apparently Rashford's release clause is 42 million.
Rashford don't have a release clause,
bro. Go online, Go online and type Arsenal Rashford release clause. It's being reported all over the gaff. 42 million release clause, bro. I'm not making this up. I'm thinking it must be fake, but it's being reported 42 million release clause.
There's no way this bastard.
I can send you something right now, bro.
Yeah, shit.
I see it. It's on Football.
Million release clause.
It's come from Football London, but I don't know if that's true or not. So it might
not be true, but if it is, that is fucking low.
If that's 45 million, I swear to fuck it. Now you know what? Oh, that actually said I once. What are you thinking? If Marcus Rashford goes to Arsenal, if Marcus Rashford goes to Arsenal, regardless of that, that's actually got me pissed off now. What the fuck? If Marcus Rashford
so you want to keep him now?
No, because 42 million is not enough for an English tax of a brother. Like that's finished. Ineos out, bruv. What said it?
When did he sign the new contract? Was that under Ineos?
It's only like last year, isn't it?
What was that under Ineos? Yeah.
Bro.
What was that Ineos, Cass? Is that Ineos? How Ineos are moving, Cass?
It wasn't him.
42 million is not about Rashford. The 42 million, if I'm not mistaken, is about another player in the article.
Oh, I'll send you something right now.
Oh, so it's clickbait.
Oh, they've done that one again. Like they did. Yeah, right. Really.
They clickbaited. I was going to say no.
Yeah, and it's running. Man, I'm running with it fully.
Rashford hasn't had the greatest of times, I understand, yeah. But I was gonna before I get your opinion, Agal, I was gonna ask Mons and Dan their opinions on if Rashford was to move to Arsenal. One, do you think it would be a better move for him, which is kind of obvious in itself? But two, we talk about Arsenal having a lack of match winners in their team. Arteta getting the best out of said players that got talent, but just not there, like Kai Havertz, even though he's not the greatest, but he got a lot out of him. Marcus Rashford to Arsenal, they might have found themselves something, you know? If that is the case,
Marcus Rashford has that X factor, that game changer ability.
Sorry, Dan.
I agree with you there. Fully has that game changer ability. By the way, I read the articles. I read a couple of them. They're talking about Victor Roque, the Barcelona Brazilian, that has a 42 million pound release clause. So they did you there with.
So they've done the clickbait thing.
Yeah, they did you with the clickbait. Yeah. Rashford does not have a 42 million.
I saw that. I saw that recently. Yeah, Rashford, someone had said Dele Alli to City, and the article actually
the problem with Marcus Rashford is his time at Manchester United has been so hot and cold. If this was a year ago, Manchester United would not have even considered any bids for Marcus Rashford. But now, him having one of his poor seasons, Martinelli having a poor season, both teams are looking at those players and saying, you know what, they've underperformed this season. Nobody at Arsenal is looking at selling Martinelli, but if they're looking to sell Marcus Rashford, best believe he's going to go for top dollar. If he did come into this Arsenal team, he would strengthen us massively. He's a
Where would
game
he
changer.
play? Where would you see him to play for you?
He would play on the left. He would be somebody who would come into
You
that
don't
left
think
side.
you look at it through the middle?
Bro, he's an older player who's experienced, scored goals in big finals, scored goals in big games in the Champions League, in the league. He's never been somebody who's not been good at finishing in the final third. That's been one of his main strengths. He's always been a good player in the final third, getting his goals in games. And I do think if he came to this team, the way that we play, we can get the best out of these guys. Mikel Arteta can coach him. And I think one thing that he's lacked with the constant managerial changes at Manchester United, he's lacked the coaching and the nurturing that was needed to get the best out of him. So if he was to go to a PSG or an Arsenal or go to maybe even a Serie A, I think he'd kill it wherever he leads.
I think he would prefer PSG to Arsenal.
Yeah, because he's Manchester born.
I think also just to get out of I think to do with getting out of this country as well, bro. I think there's a lot of players that
he could technically replace Mbappe for PSG.
Yeah. I think it's my man's into his fashion and that and whatever, but I swear he's often pictured over in Paris as well, and he seems to like going out over there. But I think mainly it would be a case of one, he's a Manchester boy, so to go Arsenal would be a bit techie, but two, I think it's all the media pressure and everything, and he is someone that a lot of people get slandered. Sterling gets slandered from the media, but Sterling ignores it. Right. Doesn't right. Whereas Rashford, it clearly gets to Rashford. So I could see him moving this summer, but not to Arsenal.
Well, maybe not to Arsenal, but I'll tell you guys this: there is a gap in the market, and it's devalued talent. What it is when you see certain teams have players that underperformed. If Chelsea were to sell Mudryk today, I would take him, because I think at Arsenal he would do much better. If Liverpool were looking to sell, for example, Curtis Jones or what do you call it, Szoboszlai, there'd be teams lining up.
Right now, more for Curtis Jones, I reckon, than Szoboszlai.
No, I'm just saying. Look, I'm talking about players that might not be valued as highly. Like right now, if you guys were to somehow sell Matheus Nunes after one poor season, there would be a queue of teams looking at him. And would we be able to pay?
I'll take him.
How about Jack Grealish? Do you want Jack Grealish? I'm not selling him. I want to keep him.
Some people would still take Jack Grealish because they see the raw talent. But I don't know about.
I see the beers. I'm keeping him.
What about
you? You get what I'm saying? The market in football has gotten so inflated.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
You have to find talent that devalue their market.
Everything in the market. We're going to be talking about this. We're going to be talking about this all summer with the transfer window. Yeah, but ultimately the market. Everything. What leads a player's price is who else is interested in him. Really and truly,
it's almost like stocks. You need to buy 100%, and you need to
supply and demand, bro.
What do you think?
I think he's a confidence player, and when Rashford's confidence is high and he has a whole team backing him, and he's in a good system, you get the best out of him. And if Manchester United were to sell him to Arsenal, and we got the friggin' league title, and he came to your ground and did a friggin' what do you call it, guard of honor, that would be the best thing that would ever happen to me.
I've got a question for Monts.
Van Persie, then, yeah?
You can have one player.
I would love to.
Rashford or Sancho? Who are you having?
Sancho.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
100%.
I'd take Sancho as well. I'd take Sancho.
You mean Jamar?
Guys, let's not be stupid. Rashford's better than Sancho.
Listen, I'll be real with you, bro. I think Rashford's football IQ's dead. I'll be honest.
Don't get me wrong. Rashford is a big game player, yeah. But Sancho is something we ain't seen in yonks, bro. We have not seen anything like him in yonks, and I will never forgive Man United for what they did to him.
We don't want to. We don't care what Liverpool fans think, anyways.
Him and my boy Pogs, them two especially, hit home.
But why do you think Sancho's all this? And he couldn't do it at United.
I think Sancho's all this. What do you mean?
Sancho's been doing it in defensive football. I'll be real, it's not his game, but he ain't helped himself at the same time. But I love Sancho.
No, because the way you're speaking about him as he's the best English talent or something.
You think?
No, he's just speaking that he's better than Rashford. That's what he's saying.
I know what you're doing, Gal. You're like Chelsea fans. They're already defending Enzo. You're defending Rashford, thinking he's your player already, didn't it? You're in defense mode already.
I'm simply keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. Rashford Rashford, it doesn't matter what system it is, you can get something out of him. Sancho couldn't do nothing at United.
Bro, Rashford's been the most purple patch player at Man United in the last probably 10 years.
Sancho, if Sancho was as good as you're saying, if Sancho's as good as you're saying, Pep would have utilized him. He wouldn't have sold him.
No. Oh, bro, we know the reason. Hold on, we know the reason why Sancho left. Let me finish on this again. The reason why Sancho,
be the main man.
the reason why you go back to that summer where Pep said to Sancho, Foden, and Brahim Diaz, and he said to you three, I want all three of you to come on tour to America with me, but you must sign new contracts. Yeah. Sancho, when you knew what it was, we've all seen the clip of Sancho and Foden when Sancho gets subbed off playing at kids level and he looks pissed off. At that club at that point, no one had really broken through from that youth academy. Sancho knew there's only one player breaking through here, and that is Foden. That's the reason he went. It's not because Foden, it's not that Pep didn't want him. Pep said, I want you to come on tour with me. You three are the players that I think are a big deal. I think so. And you talk about Rashford, yeah, you're right. Big game player, goal scorer, right? But he is hot and cold, yeah? Season on, season off, at best. Sancho's had periods like, 2-3 seasons solid at Dortmund, looking good every season. Rashford hadn't done that yet. So I'd
rather Sancho under the Zerbi. Sancho.
Yeah.
Does Sancho work in the Prem though? Because the evidence is there to suggest that he doesn't.
Maybe.
Say again.
Maybe it's a manager.
Does he work in the Prem?
Sancho.
Like Rashford, there's proven evidence that he has worked, but Sancho, he's never quite got to the levels Rashford has, albeit both show massive levels of inconsistency.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, the difference is for me that Rashford, people don't understand. Rashford's nearly been there for 10 years, like playing for 10 years at United, and he's had about 3 good seasons, right? And I know Sancho's a lot younger. There's a lot more to it. If I can get 100 M's for Arsenal out of Rashford, I'm taking that. I'm taking that. Look, Sancho's in the Champions League final. He was cooking, man. Like, it goes to show he can beat a man, and when you give him confidence, he's great.
Can I do the Sancho thing for a second, because it's actually boiling my blood. The way a gal just spoke about Sancho just boiling my blood in it. Like, let me get this straight here. You said you're speaking about Sancho like he's one of the best English talents. He is one of the best English talents. He is up there with Foden, Saka. He's up there with them, man. He's in that category of, you see, with Dele Alli, Saka, Foden, Sancho. You could even throw Palmer in there at this moment in time. He's with those guys. It's just that he's had a bad time at a club that he probably shouldn't have went to in a bad system. We all have bias. Well, when we talk about players going outside of Europe and doing what they did, yeah, who's really doing what Sancho went and done? No one. At the highest level in the Champions League, your boy ain't done that. Your star boy ain't done that at the highest level in the Champions League.
Excuse me, did you watch him this year?
He hasn't.
Bro, you must have been too busy watching the Europa League.
Let me land. What Sancho's doing even now this season in the Champions League, Saka ain't got that far. He ain't got that far. He ain't seen those levels. He hasn't seen that. Yeah, and that's no disrespect to Saka, but he just hasn't seen those levels. Yeah, I'm not hearing.
Bro, man did it in the World Cup and in the Euros, and we're talking about doing it.
I'm talking about the Champions League, bro. They both missed their penalty. Anyway, let's talk about that. We're not gonna go over there. At the end of the day, if we're talking natural ability, talent, he is absolutely up there with Foden, with the Sakas, I can't even say Palmer yet, but he's absolutely up there. Absolutely.
We're talking about application. Where was the application for when he was at United?
Neither of them can touch Mason Mount, so what are you gonna say?
Where was the application? Where was the application?
I forgot even played at this club, man.
No, we can talk
Dan hasn't forgot. Mason Mount helped to send them into the Europa Conference playoffs.
Listen, ability doesn't supersede. Ability doesn't supersede.
Application wasn't the argument. Application wasn't the argument. At the end of the day,
we can all say players have ability.
You're changing your argument. You literally said you're talking like he's one of the top English talent.
You can't put him up there. You can't put him up there when he hasn't performed like that.
No. That's not the argument.
Well, who? He has performed like
that. Sancho, for example, has done it at Dortmund. Came to Manchester United, fell off a cliff, went back to Dortmund.
We've all fell off a cliff at Man United, so it's all equal ground.
bro, Gal, please don't change your argument. You just sat there and said to me, oh, well, you know, you're talking like he's one of the best English talents, but he is.
No, bro, he's not on the same level as Foden, Jude Bellingham, and all these other guys. Like, stop doing that.
I said talent, footballing
Didn't
talent.
mention Saka,
Did I say
then.
better player? I said footballing talent.
Go, you didn't mention Saka then.
Yeah, because I don't want this to become an Arsenal thing.
Okay, fair play. I just
It's
wondered. I
crazy.
thought you would.
Listen,
Really?
I
You should be mentioning him.
think the Jadon Sancho thing, the way you worded it, the way you spoke about him
Yeah,
as
I
if
can see
he's the
that
second
done.
coming of Messi. And when I challenged you on it, you
Did I
immediately
say that,
started
though?
speaking. You immediately started speaking about his ability. My personal opinion.
No,
if
you
you're that
spoke
good-
about his ability,
one
so I
second.
challenged that point. Stop doing
No,
that.
you brought up
spoke about his
ability. Okay, let me tell you what I'm bringing up. My thing is, if you are this good, it doesn't matter what the circumstances are. You're going to show me at least a floor level of consistency. A floor. He didn't show me a floor. He showed me a basement. A level of
Again, we understand he had a bad, he had a bad 2-3 years. Yes, I understand he had a bad.
If you're that good,
Raquel may have a bad. Raquel may have a bad time at Barcelona. Is Raquel may a terrible footballer?
I am sorry. If you are that good, you raise the levels of everyone around you. You improve your team, even if they're a pile of shit. You raise your levels and you improve your
But
team.
Rashford ain't done that neither.
One second.
By the way,
At this moment in time, Jadon Sancho, Jadon Sancho is a system player who has high ability and can show when he's doing well in a good team. But when he's in a circumstance that does not suit him, he does not look good and he does not have any contribution to the team.
Listen, I will agree to disagree. Again, personally, I can understand that Sancho, again, it was a bad time at United. I'm not disputing that. And there was application problems. I'm not disputing that either. But ask any of the strikers at Manchester United, or you can look at the stats. He made Cavani better. He made Ronaldo better. He made all of the strikers when he played better around him with his link-up play at Man United. He was far way better than a lot of the players at this time. But all I'm going to say is that players like Riquelme was a crazy baller. When he went to Barcelona, it didn't quite work out. It happens, bro. It happens to the best of these players.
Also, the last part is this season, this pre-season, this is why I don't like Ten Hag. One reason, anyways, is because this season, in pre-season, the guy was playing false nine and he was sharp, he was fit, he was ready. Guess who comes in? Anthony. Doesn't even get given a chance or a run of games. This is why I say I can't judge Amrabat until he gets a run of games. Gets a run of games, and all of a sudden, oh wait, he actually looks half decent, you know? Like, that's what I look at. It's like he just been dropped for one of his favorites because he spent 80 million on a guy that's a fidget spinner. And you know what? At this point, I don't even know if he's Brazilian.
Did he play at all?
Who?
Anthony.
Not recently, he hasn't. But yeah, look, I'm gonna end it there anyways. I'm gonna go eat some food. You know what I mean? But yeah, big up yourselves. Everyone's. If you want to go find anyone's channels in the description below. If you're hearing this on that point. And also, we'll be live tomorrow. Might make some videos later, but just watch out because there's going to be lots of transfer stuff. And big up to yourselves. Like the video on the way out. And yeah, man, try and enjoy the last bank holiday.
Second coming of Messi. Don't forget that.
Jamar.